Hey everybody, it's a nice cold Saturday. Let's get mildly fired up. Hey Darren, Mr. Scott, physical media fanatic, hello. Woo. It's been a lazy day. And I got some rain. That's not, to me, that's not too good either, Scott, being 90 degrees, but you know. My air conditioner is taking a rest, and so hopefully my electricity bill will be a little bit lower than it has been during the summer months. Been watching some Category 3 movies. Yeah. I'm trying to think of anything else, but I did watch an older movie from 2000. It's called The Convent with Adrienne Barbeau. And, man, it's a short movie. It's like 75 minutes, I think. Yeah. It's very strange. I thought it was at least, closer to 90, but Maybe my version's cut. I don't know. I don't know why it would be, but it's more of like a 2000s version of Night of the Demons a little bit. But, not too bad. And of course, we got all these crazy releases coming up here. Black Friday. There we go. Yeah, Scott, I did watch the new Dune. I mean, I enjoyed it. It's definitely, obviously it's a long movie. It's not as long as the '84 version or whatever it was, but I liked it. I'd be interested in seeing the second part of the story. And I think that's probably a good idea of breaking it up. Physical Media Fanatic, I finished up watching Uncommon Valor and Empire Records. Yeah, definitely Uncommon Valor is an old one that used to be, on like the movie channel and stuff back in the 80s. Or, I think that was like, I can't remember the year for, I think it was around 83 or something. But yeah, that's a really good kind of, let's get some guys together and go back to Vietnam and see if we can find some of our buddies. And it's got like Randall Tex Cobb in it, and even Patrick Swayze's in it. And what's his name? Gene Hackman's in it. So it's a pretty good film. It's like it's like a Rambo, but splitting the characters up into multiple people. Ahoy to you, sir, Mr. V. Ugh. So let's we could talk about anything, but I just thought I'd bring this list up of the Cat 3 movies that I have. Or have list of. I mean, this was interesting. I didn't know that The Men Behind the Sun is if you haven't seen it, it's a crazy movie. And it was made by basically the mainline, the Chinese, as a propaganda film. I don't know why they needed a propaganda film in 1988 for against the Japanese. I don't know what the purpose of that was, but anyway, it's really crazy shit. And and I think that some people said that this was one of the films that actually made them get the Category 3. Yuck. I mean, I'm not going to watch it every day, but it was crazy enough to watch. I can't remember if I've seen the second one. I know I've watched a few of the sequels, but it's been a little bit of time. Basically, category, they have different categories. It's basically ratings. There's a rating 1, 2, 2A, 2B. Yeah, that's a bad one, Chris, when they have real child autopsies in the film. That's not a pleasant thing. But it just shows you how over the top some of this shit is. I mean, it's insane. And I mean, that's kind of the purpose of it to me, is just the insanity of what the hell they were doing in these movies. And of course they did start this in 1988 or so, but they went back and retroactively reclassified some of the other films as Cat 3 movies, and like from the past. So it was weird. And they got all the sequels here. And I guess this guy's put on here. I don't even know. Is this the this is The Untold Story is a pretty. I thought it was going to be, crazy. It is crazy, but there's so much comedic stuff in it that makes it really unsettling. There's like some cops and stuff, and they're like really like Keystone Cops. And then there's this guy who basically kills an entire family and chops them up and sells them as hamburgers or something. And I mean, it's really insane. And I guess that, when you have Anthony Wong and Cat 3 and that director, He did a few more films, and pretty much all of those are really are good. Speaking of the best one for me, I guess would be Ebola virus, where the guy he rapes a woman in South Africa, and he comes back and he basically spreads Ebola virus. I guess he doesn't really get sick, or it's affecting him very slowly, but he infects other people. It's one of the craziest films I've ever seen. I haven't seen Dr. Lamb. I saw Run and Kill, which is another great one if you ever want to see things. I mean, basically to me, you get into horror movies, and at some point I don't know, your tastes change a little bit, or you want to branch out. And Category 3 movies, there's a lot of horror films in there, and there's also just a lot of exploitation. Hello, Wet Movie. Physical Media is saying, do you think Cat 3 movies back then tame in today's standards? Some of them are. But there's a lot of them that really are just insane, that are really, today would never even be considered to get made. I mean, there's a lot of child killing. There's a lot of... there's a horror film called Possessed 2, and I think the ghost or something get this pregnant woman. She's on stairs, and they somehow scare her or something, and she falls down the stairs and has a miscarriage right there. I mean, that's just insane. Yeah, there's a lot of, people have blind spots and stuff like, as far as movies, any genre basically. But, some of the top ones I'll recommend. Basically, these two I have here, Run and Kill and Red to Kill, are totally insane. I'm trying to remember which one's the more insane, but to be honest with you, I have to say Red to Kill, because there's like a psychotic rapist who attacks women who wear red, and near the end he becomes like a monster rapist. I mean, he's like muscled out, and he's just raping to death chicks and stuff. It's just insane. But these two, and also this one, is really good because it's just about revenge. But yeah, just craziness. Rock and Roll Cop is on that, or it was on that White Slaves of Chinatown YouTube channel. So I mean, that would be an easy one to get. Story of Ricky is just like a comic book come to life, pretty much. So that's a big one. Her Vengeance, which I got a new version of it, and this is basically like the Hong Kong version of I Spit on Your Grave, except it's not in the woods and all that jazz. It's in the city, and it gets really, really good as far as violence and stuff like that. This is one I watched yesterday. I've never watched before. Daughter of Darkness. There's two of them, but I only watched the first one. Rikio is good, Chris. Yeah, it's fun. This whole family is killed, and they start suspecting the older daughter as the killer, but we find out what happened, and Anthony Wong's in it again, but he's playing a cop, and he's investigating it. But it's like it says right here, it starts off as a comedy, and it gets really grim and really perverted. So, but I mean, it's great. Yes, Robotrix. Robotic Tricks is good too. That should be on this list if it's not. Haven't watched the sequel of this, but I imagine it's going to be more of the same. I've never seen Brother of Darkness. I didn't miss. I have to look into that. Peeping Tom I watched that. I know it's not, it's, as it before, it says it's not a remake of the British film, but there's like, this guy likes legs, so he I don't know in the process, but he kills these women and cuts off their legs and like hangs them from meat hooks and stuff. Yeah, you don't really see them cutting it off, but but anyway, I can't remember. I don't think I've seen this one, but I may have it, but I just never got to it. Some of these I didn't want to watch because of the years. I like to watch some of the other ones. My favorite. Do I have a favorite Kevin Sorbo movie? Well, Call the Conqueror would be my favorite Kevin Sorbo movie, if there is such a thing. There's Robotrix. Now, did that just come out on Blu-ray, or was it Terminatrix? And I watched this one a while back, but I really liked it. I think this Amy Yin chick was in a bunch of these. Some of these I've never seen. This one I didn't even know. I don't believe this was this was not a Cat 3 movie. I would be surprised. Bruce Lee and I don't think that was, but maybe it was, but I don't think so. It did with Ricky O from '88. Ow. Some of these almost going like Death Triangle. That's like AEW stuff. I may have to get this one. Never heard of Death Triangle as a movie. This one I thought I've heard of and may have, but I have not watched. Triads. If you have triads in the Hong Kong films at that time, that automatically made it a Cat 3 movie. Oh, okay. That's okay. Yeah, I did. I like that. I mean, that would be one I would want to get. I may have to. Hopefully, I got some money left here in a couple weeks. Devil Fetus, I needed to watch, but I didn't get around to it. I need to watch. I heard this one was, decent. To Untold Story. And Untold Story came out on a Blu-ray from Unearthed Films. Devil Fetus 2, The Rape After. There's a lot of rape talk in these movies, and I don't think they'll show them here, but I'll talk about it. Love to Kill. There's a lot of to kill movies. Lethal Panther. Naked Killer is really good because beautiful chick right here is in it. Though she does get naked, but I don't believe you see any naughty parts. But it's some really good action, Hong Kong kind of wire stuff action with guns and girls. Another one I found, but I have not watched. I may have this one, but I don't know. Killzone. I didn't know that was. I actually have this on DVD, or yeah. There's a secret in my soup. I wonder what that is. And then it was funny because of the changeover that happened when Britain gave back Hong Kong in '97. They were still doing this for that long. So 10 years later, they were still doing these crazy films. Before '97, up to that point, they were trying to pump out as crazy films as they could before the changeover, because I guess they didn't know what was going to happen. And, obviously now that's what China is trying to lock down Hong Kong, and that's causing some bad things. I don't know, X-Ray. I think it went on a little bit longer, but, obviously it's not, definitely not the same. As speaking of now, for sure, but I think it went on for a couple years after that. I think that there was some type of grace period between 97 and when China really clamped down. This one I cannot believe is on here. It's not a Cat 3 film. I have this one. It's just a martial arts film, and I don't remember it being that gory, but I don't know about Media Fanatic. I don't know about the new releases from Arrow as far as the announcements. I mean, usually they post that kind of stuff on Facebook, or at least Dawn of the Dis will have. I mean, there's probably. I mean, obviously it's getting ready to be in the big part of the year for releases. This one's insanity, called The Eternal Evil of Asia. They accidentally rape and kill a sorcerer's sister. I mean, that's shitty when that accidents happen like that. And then they get cursed, and then one guy turns into a dickhead, literally. What is a Category 3 film? Red. Well, basically, in Hong Kong, it's a rating system. And that's why, it's just a rating system. It's basically 18 and over. So it's almost like an NC-17, except it's 18. And only certain things can automatically put you in there if you mention, I guess, maybe if there's any drug stuff going on. If it's mentioning organized crime like triads, that automatically makes it a Cat 3 film. And just usually these Cat 3 films, Cat 3, are completely bonkers. And Blair is saying Birds 2 is on Tubi, which I'm not sure. Hey, John, off topic. Did you like the Squid Game? Absolutely. I wanted to get one of those, even though I wasn't doing anything. I wanted to get one of those guard outfits from, Birds 2 is awful. I believe it is. Oh, it's also called, like, what is it called? The subtitle. Something about landing. But anyway. But definitely, if you want to see a crazy nuts film, hey, Dana. Eternal Evil of Asia is one. And Dream Home is pretty good as well. Lands In. There you go, X-Ray. And there's a great documentary about cat films, and this chick, it was in Dream House, was in there. Lands In. Hello, Dana, from our buddy Darren, which
hey, Darren.
Our new podcast, Eurocult, will be on the Patreon pretty soon. I went ahead and fixed it up the other day and gave it to the big boss man. Yes, she's in a slight break from fixing the cabinets, but hopefully she'll get back to it. Also, I got this shirt like years ago, and it's a Cat 3 shirt. The collar has become super relaxed. But this Dreamhouse one was really good. I don't know if I rented it, but it's 2010. I mean, that's really crazy that they were still pumping out. This wasn't like super crazy. There was no evil dickhead guys who, sorcerers' sisters getting raped, but it's, one of those things. Body Weapon, I just thought I seen that, but I guess I didn't. But definitely, I would want to watch it. Fatal Seduction, no. Hong Kong Bronx, oh yeah, Pretty Woman. But I haven't seen that one, and I don't know what this is. This one I have seen, which I don't recall. This is not, to me, it's not a cat film. Not really for cat. Yeah, because it's not. It's more of a that company was with Miramax called Dragon Dynasty released this. It's more of an action film. Intruder is the one I didn't know about, and I got it the other night and watched it. It's okay. It was not really crazy over the top, but you know, basically this woman and her boyfriend, which it starts off with the woman is trying to get ID cards for the mainland, I think, or for just Hong Kong. And so she killed some lady and took her identity. Oh. I see red. Yeah, I don't know about recording off of Pluto. That's weird. I mean, usually everything's on demand there too, so. Oh. Yeah, I think it was it called The Pool? I thought it was called The Pool. I started watching that but never went back to it. AJ72. I think I saw... Yeah, Beautiful Investigator is good as well. Well, everybody's got their favorite of those. But I like part 7. Yeah. Pluto, man, I mean, honestly, Pluto TV is one of the best apps out there as far as just crazy free content. I watch like they have a paranormal channel, so I'll watch about it for aliens, and then all kinds of the other on-demand stuff that they have about aliens and stuff I watch. But Beautiful Investigator is good. I think it's got Moon Lee in it, which she's in a bunch of those action films, and contains a nude shower scene featuring Sophia Crawford, which she's a hot Australian chick who was a stunt man who was in these films. She did a lot of other stunt work, like on Power Rangers and stuff, I think. Joey Wong. Let's take a look at that, because I don't recall. Oh, yeah. Yep, she's pretty hot. Yeah. Well, I was listening to... I have a thumb drive I put in my car and just have shit tons of stuff on it. And I had the Dark Side of the Colonel playing KFC and other stuff. Are you ready for Freddy? Here's another one. Yeah, Scott. I mean, I started the DEADPIT Roku channel, and I just kind of got tired. And I know Wes is the man for that now. I don't know. I do not like the Roku environment. I mean, it's cool that you can do that and stuff. I wish there was a way you could do it on the Fire TV. I just don't like the Roku remote. I don't like the that, but I do's like my Asian hotties. But I mean, there's definitely some great channels on Roku that my Roku stick in the living room, I think, is dead, so I'm gonna have to replace that. But yeah, there's some good things on there. Definitely channels you can watch. Yeah, I remember Shockworks. That's why I kind of I'm a big fan, which I haven't watched it this weekend, but is Vaughn Live. There's if you go there and go to Miscellaneous, there's guys that broadcast TV, like they make their own TV networks, and you can watch all kinds of movies and TV shows. It's just cool. But anyway, I used to stream on there a little bit, but I haven't done it in a while. I got lazy. This one I've seen, it's pretty good, called, I think it's called Women on the Run. Lost Souls? I think, yeah. And there's one for the Bamboo House of Women. But I think I have seen Lost Souls. Yeah, X-Ray it does. But you get, you're getting like, sometimes you're getting the brand new releases when they're released through torrents and stuff. And then there's, otherwise, I mean, also just old movies and old TV shows. There's a channel that does all the Mystery Science Theater riff track stuff. It's just 24/7. And you're basically streaming it from your computer to the site. So it's kind of, Bamboo House of Women, or Dolls rather, sorry. Yes, that's a fun one, if you call that kind of stuff fun. It's like a women in prison film. But this one's crazy. I do have a bamboo fetish. Screwballs 94 is like a Cat 3 Porky's, as they say here, but it's I don't know if I would say it's that good, other than yeah, absolutely. Everybody's got a bamboo fetish. My desk is made out of bamboo, by the way. My desktop. How about them apples? Naked Poison. I don't even know if I have that, or I've ever seen it. It doesn't look familiar. Oh, I didn't even know there was some fucking there's only one more. Yeah, Twitch. They have a Twitch, yeah. The good thing about the one on Vine Live, no commercials. So, but, you know, and you get everything. They'll show riff tracks. They'll show cinematic, Titanic, everything. And of course, for whatchamacallit coming up soon, I'll be for Halloween, Thanksgiving. I'll be watching the new one they're going to be releasing. They're going to have one on YouTube. Fake Pretty Woman. Centipede Horror. That's one that just got released a little bit with the Draft House was doing online screenings, and they released this, and it's pretty. If you don't like bugs, especially centipedes, it will freak you the fuck out. I think somebody had to put a bunch of them in their mouth and let them crawl out and shit. No thanks. Yeah, absolutely. Anthony Wong is in them, and he's I think he was in one of the Rush Hour movies, if I'm remembering correctly. Maybe the first one. He's a really good actor. I mean, he should have crossed over and come to the U.S. and made some films. He can speak English pretty good, so I don't know. No, physical media, I'm not really taking advantage of the buy one, get one free. I don't know. I spent a lot of money over the last couple days. We're trying to redo our floor and get rid of the carpet in the living room. And we spent like $400 and something on the wood planks. And I had to spend like $118 to get the underlay stuff. So, and then I'm waiting. I'm saving my money for Black Friday because there's some stuff I want to get from. Pretty sure I'm going to get it from. I'm getting Trauma. There's Naked Killer. I need to get this Pituitary Hunter. Hey guys, Support. Don't forget, DeadPit on Patreon. Tiers start at $1. I believe you with that buck, you get a lot of content. Plus, I think you might get our show, the Eurocult show. I know, it's a sad thing, X-Ray. I know. Yeah. Sometimes, I mean, when you get 50 years old, you kind of become a little bit more mature, hopefully, with your money. But, not always. And I'd spend $50 to get my oil changed because I have the all synthetic. I had to drive crazy. I had to drive 18 miles to go get it changed because the one place I went to said, well, it's going to be an hour and a half before we'll get to you. Had 3 cars total. And I got pissed. I left, and we drove to another Jiffy Lube, and it had 2 cars in front of us. He said, we'll get you in 15 minutes. And I was like, okay. Now, it wasn't, I don't know if they got to us in 15 minutes, but it took a while, it wasn't that long, and it was also, it took a while for them to get done for some reason. I'm not sure. I just think they were slow. But anyway, it was worth, I guess. If you can get a Groupon for 50% off, why don't you just make it 50% off all the time and stop with the nonsense? Also watched the one I remember now I watched earlier called The Black Cat, or just Black Cat. It's a Hong Kong film. It's basically like a Hong Kong La Femme Nikita where they train this woman to be a killer and stuff. I remember renting it or getting it or somehow got it years and years ago. It was okay. I don't think it's something that required viewing. But if I was going to suggest any, definitely Boxer's Omen is good. And you Ricky O. I guess Untold Story is be one. I need to watch The Devil. Yeah, Physical Media. Yeah, I saw that. I don't know if it's worth it. Maybe I'm not seeing it all, or maybe it'll be cleaned up. But I don't know. I mean, I'm good with what I saw. It's not something extremely great or anything. Killzone is really easy to get on DVD. I'm sure you'll find it for really cheap prices. It's a good action film, I guess. And of course, Robo Tricks is cool. Naked Killer is great. And some of these are really not that hard to find. And a couple of them I was going to talk about. I watched one earlier today, which I didn't see on this list, but I know it has to be. It's called Rape Man. And it's a Japanese movie. Killer 1 is pretty good. Pretty entertaining. Killzone, yes. Yeah, I liked it. Killzone 2, and it's got Tony Jaa in it and stuff. To me, that was better as just a martial arts movie. So Killzone 2 is really good. But Rape Man, I couldn't tell if this was shot on video because they did video films over there for a while. But anyway, I guess if you've got these at the beginning, we find this chick who's really just using men for money and stuff, and she goes back to her room, and then this guy breaks in all leather and has a Jason mask, but it's black, and basically he rapes her to teach her a lesson about treating men bad. And then you can hire him to do this. So it's a really insane movie. Do you have a favorite trauma movie? That's a good question. I mean, I like some of the other ones. Yeah, Rape Man as an anime, that makes sense. Shoot. I mean, I know Father's Day is not it was released by Troma. I kind of like it. I mean, if we're talking about classic Troma or something like that, I don't really know. I haven't seen Toxic Avenger in years, so I can't think of anything. I saw Trauma's War. That was insane. I'm not sure if I really have a favorite. I mean, I watched some of them. Just some of the crazy stuff. Because they are, I mean, those films, especially the early ones in the 80s and stuff. I mean, I guess Mother's Day is a Trauma movie. I kind of liked it, the original. Because it's insane, too. And, okay, now, speaking of Rape Man, these are Hong Kong films. They're called Raped by an Angel, and there's like 4 or 5 of them. And that is just insane. Now, there are a lot. I think I've watched at least 3 of these. 2 or 3 for sure. I don't think so, X-Ray. I can't recall. Ghost Snatchers. It sounds familiar. There's one that's awesome is some Pink Squad or something. Ape. I get what you're saying. But yeah, that was I mean, it's just insane. But the Apers Union, yeah, they have different subtitles on the sequels, but the first one is probably I don't know if I think it's the most insane one, is where this crazy guy just picks women and he'll force himself on them and stuff. Operation Pink Squad, the second one where they're using those model helicopters chasing a flying head. That is a crazy great movie. It's just insane. It's almost like Ghostbusters because a bunch of ghosts escape this vault in this building and stuff. I think that was on YouTube somewhere, so I think I got a copy off of YouTube. But he rapes one of these girls, and all their friends get together, and one of the girls has AIDS, and you can see where that's going. They tricked the guy into screwing the girl with AIDS. They're really, un-PC back then, especially with AIDS, because they did all kinds of stuff with different movies where they would inject somebody with AIDS. Oh, it is? Yeah, I know it's dark. It's insane. To me, I know it's crazy. And it is insane, but it's just so over the top. I just think it's... And there's Anthony Wong during this documentary. Let me see if... This is a really good documentary. It basically goes over all the major films. Okay, I agree. Is that it? I thought there was more. But, I don't really... Come on, man. Sexiest. Oh. I guess you can get Moby and you can watch some of these. There's Bamboo House of Dolls. The Beast is another one that's pretty bad. Yeah, I'm not sure. I know there's one called the Devil Returns. Blue Jean Monster is pretty good as well. So I guess if you get Moby, whatever the hell that is, I guess you can watch it, I don't know. Favorite Bill Murray movie, Stripes. Boom. Rabbit. Yeah, a lot of these, especially that one, I don't think has a really good release. Centipede of Horror. 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 Centipede Yeah, I mean, John. Yeah, and also, I mean, there's some depravity there, because I mean, there used to be something. I don't know. They were showing something about like in Japan. Hong Kong may be a little different, but they were definitely had like vending machines with used panties, and of course they would say that panties were from young girls. So yeah, there's a lot of weird depravity. I can't see Crime Story being one, but there's the Daughter of Darkness, Devil Fetus. Let's see what the fuck this is. Oh, what the fuck? You just said, why you give a list of fucking movies? Dangerous Encounters? And there's some, like, there's a couple, there's like erotic ghost story, and there's like some sequels to it. I mean, obviously it's got a lot of sexual content as far as nudity and stuff, and I really want to watch that. There was one that was put on there because it was basically a pro-tobacco romantic comedy, and that was enough to put it on a category 3, because I guess they were really pro-smoking in that one for whatever reason, which I would not be inclined to watch. I don't. There's enough smoking in it as well. I actually also watched there was a recent Blu-ray release of the Gestapo's Last Orgy. I watched that the other day, and man, there's some wacky shit in that. There's a whole big scene where this guy is just crazy about the Jews, and we're gonna put them in farms and get them all fat and stuff, and we're gonna slaughter them and eat them. What's up, Dana?
What's going on? Darcy, are you in here seeing what's going on too?
Did you watch? I don't think Dana watched the. She watched some of the movies with me, but not the Cat 3 movies. But I don't think she watched the Gestapo's Last Orgy.
Yeah, I did some of it.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, it was very demented.
Oh, okay, Jay. And if you go on YouTube, there's some guy, or maybe there's more than one guy who goes. Let me take this stupid hat off. He goes around and films in 4K where he walks down these streets in like I'm pretty sure it's Japan, and it's pretty interesting to see everything. And he goes down these off streets, and you can see all these people walking around, and a lot of hot chicks and a lot of old men. Ghostbusters. There's some Ricky. Well, I get a warm head. Sometimes I get a sweaty head, so I don't know. There's this one movie that I've been looking for. It's I think it's a Japanese movie, and I can't find, because of the name of it, I cannot find it. And it's called The Cases, and it was made in 2012. And it's kind of like a found footage movie, but I cannot find that shit anywhere. I found the trailer, but a Lady Boys, yeah. There's some old guys who retire to like Thailand and shit, and they go on about how many girls they have and stuff. And this guy, so he's got this creepy old guy getting all these younger women. It's really crazy. Perfect Victims. That sounds familiar, Robert. Oh, it's got Lay Ho in it. Five Fingers of Death or King Boxer. I'll have to get that if I can, because I tried to watch one of the Sammo Hung movies. Was it the Spooky Encounters or something? Encounters of the Spooky Kind. I watched the first one, but the second one I could not get into. Ooh. Let me check on that. X-Ray. I'm all about looking. Some of these pictures make her look like her eyes are like a mile apart. But she's pretty hot. Let me show. I think. Yeah, and I know a lot of people talking about that was like the superior one, but I mean, I couldn't. I guess because of the way the pictures look differently, like the second one look like a really newer film compared to the old one. Let's see. Is it Vicky Wu? No, I think it's way. No, that's not it. Yeah, they definitely just do a. Some of them are like in sequel and name only. Yeah. This chick is freaking gorgeous. I mean, she's a little older now, but back in, she was in Shaolin Soccer and So Close, which is a really fun action movie. Yeah, I think Karen Mock was in So Close as well. Well, I want to check on this X-Ray. It's now the hot show. Hot Asian women. Definitely a mature lady, but I'm sure. Yeah, she was in some. Definitely remember that face is very familiar. Now let's check out Tito Santana's daughter. She's not bad. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about, X-Ray. This is my new show, the Hot Asian Chick Show. We judge them. We'll do one more hot Asian chick. Yeah, she's pretty. She played like a butchy cop or something in that So Close film. There we go. Amy Yip. Yep. She's like, I thought she was Korean, but she's in a lot of Japanese or Chinese and Japanese, Chinese movies. But this is a really kind of like I think it came out in 2002 or something. Yeah, I should. Very hot. All right, no more hot chicks. before everybody. I'll get more complaints for some reason. I won't get kicked off the air, but who knows? I guess I should see. Let me check and see if I'm still on the air. I can see if I'm still on the air. I is. Salud. I'm gonna see if Dana wants to come by and have a powwow. I was thinking about next week. I got 21 people. Wow. Thank you. Next week I'm gonna do like favorite bad movies or something, because I know I like a lot of bad movies, and the Thanksgiving week weekend I will take off because I want to be super, super lazy. More lazy than normal. But yes, I will ask her to do that. I will ask her to talk about hot Asian guys, if she'll do that. Yeah, I'm telling Chris, I'm going to have to get the whip out and make her. But I told her she got one out there now, and I said, well, if you're not going to do it because it's going to get cold, just put it back on the wall, put it back on the cabinet, and we'll pick it up, But anyway, that's a good idea, X-Ray. I might try that. How about bad movies with hot chicks? I don't know. but there's a lot of and also you can talk about some of the bad Thanksgiving films. There's one, Thanksgiving. If you haven't seen Blood Freak, the original, and her buddy Tim Gross did a remake of Thanksgiving, which is kind of funny. Hey, Dana! What? You want to do a show? Come back here? Yeah. Okay. So Dana's coming. Let me see. Thought I had a dog around here, but they're asleep. I need to go see Last Night in Soho, but for some reason I didn't make it this weekend. And by the time I make it, it probably won't be in the theater. But trying to see if my eyes look weird, like cross-eyed, or have a lazy eye. Are you gonna eat?
I was just finishing some fries up.
You gonna eat while you're on here?
I have before.
Okay.
I was getting sort of weak. You don't.
So you're supposed to talk about hot Asian guys. So I was talking about hot Asian girls. So.
I don't know about any hot Asian guys.
Here, I'll help.
I mean, I see some on these movies, but I don't
Oh shit! Did it go? How did it just stop working?
I don't know.
Oops. I don't understand how things like that just stop working. But anyway, you can. Danny Lee, he's a hot Asian guy. Chow Young Fat.
I don't know whether to trust Steve or not. I mean, he's a straight guy, so how's he gonna know about hot Asian dudes?
That's true. I don't know. They're Asian. That's all I know.
But I was gonna say I see some of these Asian guys in the movies, but I don't know their names. And Steve tells me, but I don't watch enough of this stuff to have instant recall of their names. I don't know. I never was that big into David Carradine. I mean, I'm not saying he wasn't a good actor. I'm just saying I was more interested in what, like, Robert Carradine was doing. I'm more familiar with his work than I am David Carradine's work. X-Ray, you say I'm too busy fixing cabinets and talking horror. like I'm supposed to. Well, actually, it got kind of cold, for one thing. Is why I haven't been out in the garage working on cabinet doors. And for some odd reason, I don't know what's going on with me again, but I not been feeling the greatest. So Steve was probably surprised that I even came back here to do, a little bit at the end of his live stream. I've been mainly eating soups and things like that, but I'm eating fries now because I'm guessing my blood sugar got low. As I've said before, I'm type 1 diabetic, so if you don't get enough carb, that happens sometimes. Extra, you say Robert Carradine was a dreamboat. Other than when he was playing a nerd in Revenge of the Nerds, Robert Carradine's a nice looking dude, especially in his younger days. Jackie Chan, Chris V. Jackie Chan's not a bad looking guy at all. Blair, I'll tell Steve that you really like the show. Scott, you say Fear the Walking Dead's better than the regular show. Maybe I should try watching Fear the Walking Dead. Go see Antlers. Steve, are we gonna go see Antlers?
Maybe, possibly.
Blair also thanked you and said loved the show as always. So
thank you very much. I'm just having bullshitting. So.
But bullshitting's really all we do on these things anyway. Talk about the stuff we like. So, Blair, we might go see Antlers. I don't know. Or Steve may bow out and say, hey, we'll watch it on... I don't know if it'd be something that would be on Peacock or not.
It'll be on something. Or it'll be online.
Steve was supposed to take me to that Soho movie. And...
I know. Money's tied up, unfortunately.
Yeah, so I guess we're not going to go get to see that. And Halloween Kills, he was supposed to take me to that one.
It was easier to go see.
And he said, well, why don't we just watch it on Peacock?
Yeah.
So I gave him.
Yay.
As I do occasionally.
Very, very rarely.
Steve says very rarely, but for any of you wondering when I'm going to get back to doing regular live streams, as soon as I get my energy back, and barring anything else going on, they're trying to get us back to work on more on-site days. They were going to make us, go back to 5 days a week on site, and then they kind of backed off of that.
We're backing off, guys.
And December, they're going to make us come in on site a third day. So,
we're going to back down.
Scott, you say if it's on streaming, you're just going to watch it on there?
Yeah.
That's more than likely what Steve's going to do, too. I don't envision us going to the movies for a while.
Word.
Unless I pay for it, and right now I'm broke.
Yeah, we'll
so.
go. If you're paying for it.
Steve's evidently looking for another movie. I don't know what makes him think he's going to be up very much longer.
Well, it's only 7. I think I'm going to try to stay up to 10.
He fell asleep this early in the afternoon. So, Steve's a very tired man. Aren't you, Steve?
Sometimes. I'm tired of your shit.
He's kidding.
Not really, but okay.
Yes, you are.
I'm just kidding.
You don't want them to think that you talk to your wife that way, Steve.
There's the Killzone 2. I'm sure you can get that cheap. But it's...
Is that a Cat 3 movie?
No, but it's a good action martial arts movie.
Steve needs 5-hour energy. Steve needs something.
I need 20-hour energy. Ooh. Who's that?
Here's my little girl here. One of my little girls, my Darcy. Yeah. Did you come to say hello? That's how Reggie talks. Darcy's so cute. She wants everybody to see her. What do you think, guys? Does she look like a dachshund? Steve says she looks more like a Chihuahua, which we think she's mixed with Chihuahua, but I certainly think she has the attributes of a dachshund. Chris V put a heart beside your name. Yeah. Scott, you say you think Darcy and Joe Bob are shooting their Christmas special today? Awesome. I can't wait for that. Of course, I'm wondering what movies they'll show this time. Blair, we have been watching Child's Play, and I'm actually enjoying it. And Steve even said that he is not a big fan of Child's Play, the films, but he's really liking the show, aren't you, Steve?
Yeah, I think the main thing, I mean, the thing I like about it, you know, besides just the story and violence and whatever, is the they can basically get away with rated R language on TV. So I mean, it's not censored in that way.
What channel is it coming?
It's on USA Network. So, but
oh, really?
I mean, they can just put an MA on it, and they can just sit there and say fuck all they want. It's. I mean, that makes it more. It's not necessary, but it makes it less seem like it's some stupid TV show and versus like a film or something. In my opinion.
Of course, they can put a R rating on it on movies, and they can say fuck.
Right,
all they want.
We're talking about a TV show.
Yeah, I know. But yeah, I'm enjoying it. I'm actually enjoying it more than like. What was the sequel before? Which one was Cult of Chucky? But when there's Curse and Cult.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'll say that I like this television show a lot better than the last couple of sequels. And honestly, even though Brad Dourif's daughter was in like this last episode of the Child's Play show that we watched, I'm just not that big of a fan of her acting. She's better in this show than she was in those last two sequels, or last ones, whichever. I think she was in the last two, but I guess the filmmakers and the guys that are behind all these television shows based on certain horror movies think that just because somebody's the offspring of somebody that was big in horror, it's like, hey, we'll stick them in there, just assuming, I guess, that they're going to have that they've inherited that acting ability from their parents. I don't always agree with that because the offspring could be a terrible actor or actress, um, whereas their parent and or parents, if they had two parents that were in show business, you know, just because you made a name for yourself doesn't mean that you're going to produce some offspring that's going to be just as good or even better than you are. I mean, I'm sure it's happened, but you can't just, in my opinion, you can't just assume, oh, Brad Dourif's offspring's going to be like Brad Dourif, only female. So I'm not a real big fan of hers. I've always been a fan of Brad Dourif. Brad Dourif has a wide. Darcy is on the desk. Brad Dourif has incredible acting range, in my opinion. I've seen him on things like Guyana Tragedy, which was about the Jim Jones cult. And he's very good in dramatic roles. He was also on One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, which was a dramatic role. But then I think when he really resonated, at least with horror fans, was when he was on Child's Play. And then, things went from there for him. And he was on things like Urban Legends and, some other stuff. But I just think Brad Dourif's what you would call a real actor. He wasn't just put into movies because somebody in his family was big at one time. Now, there are actors and actresses, Drew Barrymore, for instance. I think Drew Barrymore's an incredible actress. And yes, Chris V, he was great in Exorcist 3. I had actually forgotten that, but thanks for bringing that up. But Drew Barrymore pretty much comes from a Hollywood family, but I think she would have come into her own regardless of the Hollywood family. Just because you can tell that she has that ability and she has that range. And Drew Barrymore has also been in, she was in things like E.T. when she was young. She was in Firestarter. And she was really good even at that young age of playing those roles. I mean, it was heartbreaking, in my opinion, to watch her in Firestarter when she was separated from her father within the movie. And you could almost believe those tears were real that she had. I thought she was great in E.T. I also thought she was great in Cat's Eye in the last story, and also as the ghost girl in the wraparound story for that. She's been in comedies like The Wedding Singer, which I always thought I thought her and Adam Sandler were like the perfect pairing. And they did a few films together. Scott, you say Brad has been in a ton of genres like HBO's Deadwood TV series. Sadly, I never watched Deadwood, but maybe I need to try that, especially if he's on it. She was in the Santa Clarita Diet, and wasn't that the one that was about zombies, or am I mistaken on that? I don't think I ever actually sat down and watched that one. But, speaking of Drew Barrymore and Adam Sandler, when they were in The Wedding Singer, a lot of that was comedic. And then the 51st Dates that they were in, like not very long after that, I mistakenly thought that was going to be more comedic, and some of that turned out to be really sad and heartbreaking. Instead of being a pure romantic comedy, this had a lot more drama in it. Okay, yeah, so that was the one that had to do with zombies. I remember I remember seeing that, when the new things would pop up on Netflix, and same thing with Shudder. Sometimes I see things and I don't get a chance to actually sit down and watch them. Uh, and in all honesty, I don't watch Netflix much at all anymore, unless I hear about something really good that's on there, or Stranger Things is on, which I'm guessing Stranger Things is getting ready to start back up again, because they've already got the teaser trailer for season 4 out. Um, but speaking of Stranger Things, I was telling Steve the other day, I was like, they're freaking putting Finn Wolfhard in everything now. And I can understand putting an actress like Millie Bobby Brown in a lot of stuff, because I think, talking about acting ability, I think Millie Bobby Brown has greater acting ability than Finn Wolfhard. I think they're essentially putting Finn Wolfhard in all these movies like he's gonna be in the Ghostbusters Afterlife movie. And I don't know that he could really add anything to that movie, because I'm not saying he's not a good actor, but I think for a movie like that, you need a great actor. And I don't think that Finn Wolfhard has been in the business long enough, to, uh, I don't know if I want to say carry the movie, because I can't really tell how big of a part in that movie he's going to have in the Ghostbusters movie. Um, and the other thing that rubs me the wrong way about Finn Wolfhard, when they interview those kids, well, they're essentially not going to be kids much longer, but, and I think Millie Bobby Brown's playing younger than she actually is. But when they interview them, most of them seem very, like they're enjoying what they're doing, that they appreciate the fans, and I don't know, but when they show Finn Wolfhard and they interview him, and feel free to disagree with me if you guys see something different, but I sense a cocky attitude when they interview him, and like he thinks he's bigger than he actually is, and he's got this band and all this stuff, and they're always talking about these girls that want to, meet him, I guess, and hope they could date him and whatever, and they talk about the social media stuff and all that, and um, maybe some of you guys have a different idea about him. Maybe I'm just viewing him the wrong way or something, but that's something that's always rubbed me the wrong way about him. The rest of the kids, like I said, seem like they're enjoying the show. They don't act cocky. They seem appreciative of the fans and are enjoying what they're doing. But like I said, do any of you guys have a different idea on him? I just was thinking about that, since I was talking about Netflix and then talking about Stranger Things. So anybody else got any ideas on Finn Wolfhard? What you think of him, or what you think of them putting him in movies, for instance, like Ghostbusters Afterlife and stuff like that? I'll see if anybody's gonna comment, unless I've bored you guys to tears already. Feel free to go ahead and put something in the chat if you got something to comment about Finn Wolfhard. I was gonna. Scott, you agree with me on Finn? Okay, so I guess it's just not just me. If there's at least one other person that agrees with me on that, I guess I could talk about what I've been watching lately, and that is I went right from the Halloween themed movies to Thanksgiving themed movies. And as many of you know, there are not a whole lot, there's maybe a handful of Thanksgiving themed horror movies. So I watched Blood Rage, not Blood Rage with the killer that works at the Yoo-Hoo factory. That is a totally different film. But I'm talking about Blood Rage, starring Mark Soper, has Louise Lasser on it, and Ted Raimi in a blink and you'll miss him role at the very beginning of the movie. Oh yeah, Scott. I thought that he had some kind of show that he was doing, which is cool because to me, Gaten acts like a real kid, and then in comparison to Finn Wolfhard seems like a kid that is trying to act way older than he is, and seems to be self-important, and I think he should just concentrate on being a kid, and I think that's what Gaten does. He's not putting on any airs or anything. Scott, you say Blood Rage is your go-to for Thanksgiving horror, and yeah, Jay, that's not cranberry sauce. That is the big tagline for that movie. But I absolutely love that movie, and the first time I watched it was under the title Nightmare at Shadow Woods. And I was really excited when I found out it was coming out on Blu-ray. But I think that was one that, it seems like every one of these movies that's coming out on Blu-ray that hasn't, seen any kind of really good release, if any, for years and years and years, always gets pushed back and I have to wait for it. I believe I had to wait for The Mutilator. I had to wait for Blood Rage. I had to wait for Death Screams. Now, I don't know really what the problem with Mutilator and Blood Rage was, but I'm sure the Death Screams fiasco had something to do with the pandemic and them not being able to get stuff in the way that, manufacturing difficulties and getting it shipped to the retailers so that they can in turn sell it. But like I said, the other two, I don't know. That was prior to the pandemic, so I'm not sure what was going on there. Home Sweet Home is another one that I like to watch. Is it a good film? No. Not in any way, shape, or form. But for me, it's entertaining. And Steve and I actually did a commentary for it a few years back, and I don't know if that's available through DEADPIT or not. I don't know. I may have to do some asking around in case anybody was interested in listening to that. Steve has a movie. Gosh, I'm totally forgetting the title of it. Hey, Steve.
Yo.
What's that movie that it's Blood Freak, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay. I just remembered it. There is a movie that Steve introduced me to. The first Thanksgiving we spent together was Blood Freak. And that's a wacky, crazy, entertaining film that if you have not seen that, I would seek it out. And I think I'm thinking somebody made a remake of that recently. Like, I'm talking about like a homegrown type of remake, not like professional studios remake. So that's another one. There's also the Thanksgiving movies, but I don't watch those because maybe I should. But I just don't. I don't know. I've never really seemed that interested in those for whatever reason. Um, but then my other go-to movies for the Thanksgiving season don't have anything to do with horror films, but they're ones that I really like. Home for the Holidays, starring Holly Hunter and Robert Downey Jr., is an awesomely funny look at a very dysfunctional family on Thanksgiving. If you have not seen that one, I highly recommend that. The other is Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, which I had not, usually all these John Hughes movies I've seen. But Planes, Trains, and Automobiles was one that somehow I missed along the way. I had heard of it, but then when I finally did get a copy and watched it, I was just amazed at it. And it's a very heartwarming as it goes along. There are sad moments in it, there are funny moments in it, but at the very end, it's very heartwarming. And you actually see the main character, played by Steve Martin, change over time from this um, world wise, kind of cynical dude who doesn't have time for anybody, and I think everybody's just kind of causing him trouble. And he meets up with John Candy's character, and John Candy, slowly over time within this movie, changes Steve Martin's view on the world and the people in it. Um, and he becomes, by the end of the movie, Steve Martin's no longer a cynic. So it's got a really good message to it. I think John Hughes did an excellent job with it. Plus, there's a lot of the Blu-ray I have has a lot of archival footage of John Hughes, which, considering the fact that John Hughes is no longer with us, um, it's both interesting and kind of sad to watch. Um, but anyway, that's my Thanksgiving viewing choices. I was actually going to watch the Thanksgiving Charlie Brown special, but I was not able to. I was not able to get that with the resources we've got. I think it was one of the channels or something, streaming channels that we don't currently have. I may see if Steve can get it for me, because that's one Charlie Brown special that I haven't seen. I've seen the Christmas one, seen the Halloween one about the Great Pumpkin and all that. And I know there's more, Charlie Brown stuff. Which one did you get off of Vimeo, Scott? Did you get the Charlie Brown? Oh, Charlie Brown Thanksgiving. Yeah, I'm almost sure Steve could probably get it for me if I ask him. So I might see if before Thanksgiving I can get that. And Thanksgiving, speaking of Thanksgiving, the holidays are fast approaching, and then soon it'll be Christmas. And I don't know about you guys, but I'm totally not ready for Christmas. I haven't even started shopping yet. I gotta get my butt in gear with that. Um, But then it'll be time to get out all the Christmas themed movies, which I have about half horror and half, family comedy type stuff. So I was trying to think. This isn't movie related at all, but since we were talking about Thanksgiving, has anybody noticed the extreme price gouging on turkeys this year? Okay, Here's what happened to me. I went to Kroger's like last week, and turkeys were $30. And this is for the off-brand turkeys. This is for Kroger store-brand turkeys. I've never paid that much for my turkey. I think they were like $1.49 a pound, and that's about the highest I've ever seen them, especially since I've lived in Louisville. And so he hemmed and hawed about it, but I had just talked to my mom on the phone a few days prior, and she was saying, "Oh, you better get your turkey if you're gonna get one, because they say that there's gonna be a turkey shortage." And so I went on and got my turkey, and I'm not blaming my mom at all on this. She was just, trying to advise me. And so then Thursday, Steve and I went and got groceries. We went and got groceries a little earlier. Usually we get them on Fridays, but we were both off on Thursday, so we thought, what the heck, we'll go get groceries. And those damn turkeys were down to 49 cents a pound. You could get the size of turkey that I got, which was probably about 17, 18 pounds, for less than $10. I was livid. I told Steve I had half of mine to take this $30 turkey that I got the week before and say, I want the price that you've got on these damn turkeys right now. And Steve said, just let it go, Dana. You've done bought the turkey. You've done spent the money. But here's another example of retailers taking advantage of the pandemic by scaring people, insinuating that there's going to be a shortage of something. So you better get your stuff now. And we're going to, and by the way, we're going to jack up the price way overpriced, and then we're going to lower it the next week. Scott, you say you miss Kroger's, and you're a little ahead. You already have your Christmas cards. Well, you're doing better than me. Sorry for the little rant on the turkeys, but I was just I could not believe that they did that. I mean, I should be able to. I've been on this earth long enough to know that if people see a chance to price gouge, they're going to price gouge. They do it on gas. They do it on other things. Jay, you say, damn, that's bad that, I gave $30 for a turkey, and then the next week, it wasn't even like 2 weeks or 3 weeks. It was the next freaking week. They were down to like $8 and something. Same size turkey and everything that I had just gotten the week before for $30. It should be illegal. But unfortunately, like Steve says, you really can't do anything about it. But I've got my turkey. It's out in our freezer in our garage. Now I just got to get all the other stuff. Now, Steve thinks I'm crazy because the week of Thanksgiving, I usually prepare Steve and I a turkey dinner, and we can eat on it, till just a little bit after Thanksgiving. And I fix the turkey, and I make gravy from the drippings, and I make mashed potatoes and macaroni and cheese, green beans. Usually get Steve a pecan pie, and I get a pumpkin pie because I got to have my pumpkin pie for Thanksgiving. But Steve thinks I'm crazy doing that because the last few years we went to my mom and dad's for Thanksgiving, and we get Thanksgiving dinner there. Which is fine. I enjoy that. I enjoy going and seeing my family and everything. But I enjoy being able to fix a dinner just for Steve and I. And I really don't feel right, like, even though my mom would send us home with plates of food after Thanksgiving, I just don't feel right taking that food from her and Dad, because they're feeding us while we're there. Why take the rest of, why be greedy, you know? And I enjoy being able, like I said, to do the Thanksgiving thing, and so that's why I do it. But does before I get off on a whole other tangent, does anybody have any other questions or comments or anything for me before I get Steve to cut this live stream off? I know I really wasn't talking about anything super interesting this time, but I'm happy that some of you guys stayed around and stuck around even after Steve was gone. But again, you know, I'm not making any promises of when this is going to be, but I do plan to get back into the live streams. You know, I was actually thinking of maybe doing one this weekend, but then I got to feeling so bad. I had Steve pick me up soups today because I was just, my stomach is, for whatever reason, not being real happy with me lately. So I've been eating a lot of bland, you know, like chicken noodle soups and things like that. Scott, you want to know what's the latest movies I've seen? I did not watch the new Paranormal Activity, but I did watch a lot of the, I'm assuming you mean the Dune remake. I did watch a lot of the Dune remake with Steve. He was watching it. But I am almost ashamed to say that I have never seen the original, which was done by David Lynch. You know, and has a lot of great people in it. I mean, it seems like the perfect movie for me to watch. I don't know. Steve told me he wasn't a real big fan of the original Dune. And you know, I didn't hear from him like, "Wow, this was awesome" or anything like that. But I thought it was pretty interesting. Of course, I had a lot of questions because, like I said, I've never seen the original Dune. And it took me a while to figure out what exactly was going on, what the plot was of the story. But I really thought it was interesting. I like these kind of epic type movies like that. I mean, yeah, they're long and stuff, but if they're made well, you're not going to get bored and you're not even going to notice it's long. But yeah, I did not watch the new Paranormal Activity. I'll be honest about the Paranormal Activity movies. I have never been a fan of any of the rest of them. I liked the first one. I thought it was creepy. I thought it was an original concept. But now I feel like they've just, you know, in my opinion, they've run it into the ground a little bit and made too many of them. Scott, you say you'd seen the original movie and heard the audiobook, so luckily you knew what was happening. Great visuals in the new movie. Yes, the visuals were really, really good. Yeah, and Brad Dourif is in the original Dune. Virginia Madsen is. Kyle MacLachlan is. A lot of, you know, David Lynch regulars are in there. Yeah, Scott, I just Paranormal Activity. I think they ought to just stopped after the first one. Now, of course, there are people that say they should have stopped after the first Friday the 13th movie. But I'm such a big, huge fan of that they could keep doing the same thing over and over, which they pretty much did for a long, long time. But I still found something entertaining and worthwhile to spend my time with a Friday the 13th movie. But things that are a little more unique, like Paranormal Activity, I think when you start just overdoing it, you've taken away the magic of what made that original film work. it just seems tired now. That whole thing seems tired. It would be like, to me, it would be like if they made 5 or 6 Blair Witch projects. It was bad enough that they made that second one, which I hated. But can you imagine if they made 5 or 6 of them? The same thing with the Saw movies. I thought the first Saw was an original idea, but then they just done it to death over and over and over. I mean, with Friday the 13th, you kind of know, if you're at least a little bit familiar with the series, you know what you're in for. So the majority of them, the kids go to Camp Crystal Lake, and Jason kills them. I mean, you know that. But with these others, it's like you have this revelation of an ending, and then you'd want to just do it over and over and over again, and it becomes very, very tiring. But as long as people are paying money to go see these movies, they're going to keep making them. So there you go. Scott, you say found footage is just good in small dogs. Hey! Sorry, guys. I didn't mean to yell like that, but I didn't know what was going on. These dogs come running through. Darcy, if you want to go out, go out.
No.
No, she just wanted to growl at him. I thought the others were in a fight or something. It scared me. We're talking about found footage movies now.
There's some good ones on Shudder. Like there's a French one called Therapy that was pretty good.
I didn't see that one.
And then there's it's a really long one called The Medium, which is okay, but it's like 2 hours almost.
Meet the Medium? I thought it was just called Medium.
It's just called Medium or The Medium.
Okay.
But,
That's got that creepy look.
Actually, I'm watching, I have never seen the Paranormal Activity, the Ghost Dimension. I'm watching that right now. About the...
Well, what's the new one?
Next of Kin, which it's not a ghost movie. So it's not really a Paranormal Activity movie.
So what was your final thoughts on Dune since you're back here, the remake? Dune. Yes.
I mean, I liked it. I'll probably see the second part because...
oh, that's right. There's going to be a second part to it.
I mean, it's still part of the first novel, so I think so. But I'll probably go see it next year or so whenever it comes out. I liked it for what it was.
Yeah, but you told me you wasn't really a big fan of the original Dune.
Well, the original Dune is just really... David Lynch directed it, and his style, it was very strange to see a big science fiction film by him, and also it was very long. And it was... They overcomplicated it.
Yeah, but David Lynch does that. I mean, his stuff is complicated. Look at Twin Peaks.
Yeah, but I mean, a science fiction movie, sometimes you can't... a story, if you make it too complicated, you just don't know.
Oh, go ahead.
No, I'm done.
Speaking of David Lynch, though, I did watch a series of short films that he did at one time. Have you ever seen that, Steve? You want to talk about some weird stuff, some weird imagery? Steve's got the wrestling belt all of a sudden. I think I might have scared everybody yelling like I did.
Sorry.
But some of our male dogs get in fights sometimes, and anytime now I hear growling and stuff, I don't assume it's Darcy playing. I assume it's the dogs getting into a fight. And here's Sammy.
Sammy!
And Darcy.
But
I don't know what I was talking about before that. I just lost. No, I mean the grandmother and Alphabet. I don't think I've seen either one of those. Have you, Steve? Alphabet I've heard of, but
they talking about found footage?
I don't know. Jay's asking.
But there's a lot of I don't even know if I guess they're real documentaries or stuff on Amazon Prime about hauntings and stuff. It's you can go on for days about that shit. There's one called Sir No Face, and then there's a sequel to it. But anyway, you carry on.
Oh, the Lynch short films. I can't remember the actual titles of them. I just remember it being really bizarre. But that's David Lynch for you. He's made a career out of creating bizarre imagery in films and television shows. So, if you want to see something with some really bizarre imagery, though, I would definitely seek out those short films. I watched it has been a long time since I watched them because this was way before I met Steve. And I was working for the Hancock County Public Library System. And I was the interlibrary loan librarian. So I kind of used that to my advantage and would get things that I wanted to see or I wanted to read. I was able to get some pretty, off the wall stuff. At times, I got really into watching a lot of the cult stuff at one time and was able to get from the Los Angeles Public Library the Heaven's Gate video footage of right before they committed suicide, which is really creepy. And I'm sure people have seen that footage by now. But at the time, I hadn't seen this particular stuff. And Doe, or whatever the heck his name was up there talking about how they weren't going to die. They were going to, ride the tail of the comet or whatever. But anyway, Scott, you say the documentary on Lynch was interesting. David Lynch, The Art Life. I need to see that. I don't recall seeing that. I might see if Steve can hunt that up for me, because he's interested in some David Lynch stuff. Like, he loved Twin Peaks, as a lot of people in our circles did and still do. I remember when speaking of Twin Peaks, I remember when Twin Peaks first came out, and the first 2-hour pilot or whatever, and oh, so it's free on Amazon Prime. Awesome. I'll have to hunt that up, Scott. Thanks for letting me know. Oh, now it's a rental? Okay. Well, like I said, I can probably get Steve to look into that for me. But I remember watching the pilot for Twin Peaks with my dad. I don't remember my mom really sitting down and watching it because I guess she wasn't interested in it. But Dad really liked the pilot. And so when the show started coming on regularly, we would watch it. And then when they started introducing characters like the log lady and the backwards speech and the little dude and I think Dad kind of lost the interest there. It got too weird for him. But Twin Peaks, in my opinion, is one of those shows that if you stick with it, you will find something to enjoy with it. And I revisited in the last couple of years or so the original series, and I really, really enjoyed it. And not only is it bizarre and entertaining, it's also, there's some imagery in there that is really, really creepy, especially with the Bob character. And then when David Lynch brought the Twin Peaks stuff back for a little bit, I thought that was really amazing as well, what he did with that. Yep. Scott, Steve, and I did watch the Twin Peaks revival. I really enjoyed it. I don't know for sure Steve enjoyed it as much as I did. But Hold on just a second here. Well, I didn't shut the door yet. Sorry, I had to let some of the dogs in. Chris V, Fire Walk with Me, I am not sure. I may have sat down and watched that with Steve. I cannot really recall. Because that is one that I want to watch it, but I don't recall actually sitting and watching that one. But all of that, Twin Peaks related stuff, the offshoots or whatever you want to call it, are really, they're visually stunning, they're bizarre, they're entertaining, they're creepy. I mean, they got a mixture of all these things that just make it great. And I really got back into Twin Peaks when the revival came on, and I got a Twin Peaks t-shirt, I got Twin Peaks Funko Pops, I got a set of little figures that I don't guess you'd really call them action figures because they're only about this tall. But I got one of Bob, I got one of the Log Lady, I got one of Agent Cooper, the dead Laura, and I'm trying to think if I've got any other characters with that, and I don't think so. But sadly, over time, because I opened the figures, Agent Cooper came with a coffee cup and the little pocket recorder where he talked to Diane. I lost the pocket recorder, and I lost my Log Lady's log, so I had to go get a small, like, little stick that kind of looks like a log if you lay it on her. So lay it on her hands or in her arms or whatever. So lesson learned, don't open stuff like that, just leave it in the packaging. But the Funko Pops are good. I've got Laura's father, gosh, what's that guy, and Audrey, and that guy, the real tall guy that shows up, I'm forgetting his name. But anyway, I probably went on long enough about Twin Peaks. We could probably have a whole show just on Twin Peaks. And maybe I'll do that on my live stream at some point, and we'll go more in depth to Twin Peaks. But if nobody has anything else for me, I think I'm going to wait a few seconds and then holler at Steve to come back here, which he might be coming back here. Steve, I think I'm about ready to cut out on here. We got to talking about Twin Peaks and Fire Walk with Me and all kind of stuff. Oh! Darcy's falling. But thank you guys for hanging out with me even after the entertainment committee left, which is Steve. I don't know what he's doing back there, but anyway. And I hope to be back doing something on my own soon. I have a dog on my head. I have a little girl on my head. But anyway, I'm going to have Steve cut this off. But thanks, guys, and I'll see you later. Bye, Darren. I wasn't even sure if Darren was still in here. He's quiet somewhere.
Thanks, everyone. And we'll be back next weekend. Bye.
Up your butt. Like, subscribe. And if you subscribe, here's something else you can do. Once you subscribe, you can click the bell notification, right? And it'll notify you anytime that Dead Pit puts up new shit.
Or don't. I really don't give a if you do or
I
not.
want you to. I want you to.
I don't care.
Let's keep our community growing here on
No,
YouTube.
I don't like it. I don't want you to do nothing.
Listen, they need to do that, pal.
No, don't you
Yeah.
dare touch it.
Thumbs up. Subscribe. And click that bell. Thank you to all of our supporters on Patreon. DEADPIT on Patreon.com is the only place to check out a complete archive of the old DEADPIT radio shows all the way back from 2005 on, in addition to the midweek shows and fan commentaries, exclusive podcasts, and much more. DEADPIT on Patreon.com if you're interested. Tiers start at only $1.